It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Come on, Joe, let's get some trees.
We've been waiting for you. Get the car, I'll cover you.
Go forward, Ricky. Cut the wheels.
Boys, break it up.
Get ready for tidings of comfort and joy. The Trailer Park Boys Christmas Special, Saturday at 9 on Showcase.
You may not have ever heard of the Trailer Park Boys. They're a very specific TV show for a very specific audience. But it found me when I was in high school, and I love the Trailer Park Boys. The Trailer Park Boys was created by Mike Clattenburg as a continuation of his 1999 short film, becoming a beloved Canadian mockumentary focusing on ex-cons Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles in the fictional Sunnyvale Trailer Park. The show, known for its raw, improvised style, began airing in 2001 on Showcase, later finding massive international success via Netflix after its original run, with stars John Paul Tremblay, Rob Wells, and Mike Smith. Wait, Trailer Park Boys returns for season 13 as Shoot Raps. Oh! Exciting! They're kind of old now, but it's adding to the flavor of the show. Yeah, it's about 3 ex-cons doing crime, smoking weed, drinking booze, and cursing. And they've had a very long run. They had a 2-season animated series at one point. They've had a few specials. They had a recent movie, which shockingly was really good. Like I'm not saying really good for Trailer Park Boys. Really good movie. And they also had a Trailer Park Boys Christmas special on December 12th, 2004. This special came out between seasons 3 and 4, which I believe that there are 12 seasons currently. Technically 14, because I think they count the animated show. And I honestly didn't really remember what was going on at the time of the special releasing in the show's story. But that doesn't really matter because it's a prequel to the entire show. So there you go. And I should say this as a fan of the show. I'd never seen this special, so I really wanted to check it out. But I will say most of the stories are just drinking, smoking, cursing, and like falling over. My favorite seasons are seasons 9, 10, and 11 because they have some really entertaining money-making crime schemes going on that are really interesting to watch and also have all that fun personality stuff that I talked about before. The other seasons are great too, and there's plenty that I love, plenty of episodes that I'm really into. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire show. I mentioned it once, I mentioned it twice, and I'll mention it one more time. Smoking, drinking, cursing, falling over stuff. However, one of the strongest parts of the show are the characters. These characters are so good. You have Ricky, you got Julian, you got plenty more people, but my favorite is Bubbles.
Can you read, my son?
Well, that depends. Can you go f*** yourself?
Mike Smith plays Bubbles, and there is no other character like him. He's always the one that has like the actual emotional arc in these shows and specials because he's probably the most relatable character. He's probably the most sympathetic character. He's just also a very goofy, funny person to follow along.
Listen to him back there. Donald Trump.
Uh-oh. This special comes at a time when Trailer Park Boys still felt like a mockumentary, where they're really leaning into like the documentarian, but it's fake, but goofy aspect of the show, whereas like in later seasons, it really felt like an improv mockumentary, where things were just kind of happening, like people were, you know, like doing crazy, gross, or wild stuff. Not really for a point. It was still enjoyable to watch, but I really appreciate the early seasons for really sticking with that mockumentary style. But the one thing I really wanted to big up this special for is how beautiful it looks. The nighttime scenes with all the Christmas lights out, it's very beautiful and it looks really good. It's a very pure environment for such a crude show. Another favorite character of mine is Jim Leahy, played by John Dunsworth, who sadly passed away within the show's run. So rest in peace, Mr. Leahy. You were I'm trying to think of like a thing that they would have called him during the show, but it's all curse words. Okay, the plot of this special. I've always appreciated the stories in this kind of show because it's always very crude. It's very rudimentary, but it's easy to follow and it's enjoyable. Sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's not, but you're having a good time. But the plot for this Christmas special. Fresh out of jail, Ricky learns that the perfect Christmas he promised isn't coming when he learns that Santa Claus might not be able to come.
You know Santa and God aren't the same guy, right?
Dad, you didn't know that? I mean, think about it. How would he get around the world in one night? Of course the same person, right, Bubs?
No, Ricky. Santa and God, that's two different things.
What? Oh, my...
So he has to turn to his best friend and a life of hilarious crime to make the Trailer Park Boys' Christmas special. And like all holiday specials, they have to find what Christmas really means to them. Another thing about this Christmas special, as I already mentioned, it's a prequel to the show. So a lot of the humor in it is derived from, you get it? You get how this is gonna change?
Do you like cheeseburgers, Henry?
And that's pretty much the entire special, except when we get to the end. There's like this big church finale where the Trailer Park Boys and Jim Leahy and stuff are just ruining Christmas and ruining church and all that stuff. But then Ricky gets up on this vestibule and he has a very genuinely emotional and sweet plea to the crowd. And then the rest of the special is a really sentimental story. There's been this storyline throughout where Bubbles didn't want to open a present from his parents that abandoned him when he was a kid, and he didn't want to open it until he was back with his family. But then this year he finally accepts his found family and opens the present to find his classic bubble maker. I was terrified it was a dead cat in there. If you've seen the show, that makes sense. And Bubbles reading that note with his friends behind him, there to be for him, there for him. Sorry. It's probably one of the saddest moments in the show. I would probably say the second saddest moment in the show, because the first is definitely Julian leaving to Hobo Song. Ugh. After a fairly standard Trailer Park Boys special, they found a really beautiful, sentimental ending, and during one of the most cheery times of the year.
I don't know. It's time for me to grow up and be a responsible man. I think I'm there.
To be honest, I'd really only recommend this special if you're a fan of Trailer Park Boys. However, if you've seen something in this video that interests you other than me, I'd recommend taking a look at Trailer Park Boys. It's a good show. It's not really hard to watch. You could just turn it on and have a good old time. Yeah! Is there a famous quote I can end this episode on? Let me see if I can find something good. Alright, we'll go with that one. Whatever. Check back tomorrow when I've got another Christmas video for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And now make like a tree.
Make like a tree and fuck off.